Hello everyone, welcome to Astrology and Magic. We are here to look at this week's astrology. We're in the middle of eclipse season. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on, and by the time that we get to next week, we have a whole other set of weird woe things right before the eclipse. So we're gonna start with Aries season. That's what we're starting with today. And before we get into the show, before we get into Aries season, before we get into the astrological new year, which Happy New Year, first and foremost. Before we get into that, I just want to give some updates on things and what is going on behind the scenes. If you're interested in receiving updates on the podcast and having them sent to your inbox, I do run a blog, Vordr, vordr.substack.com. It's going to be linked down in the description of the show. So if you are interested in that, you're more than welcome to go and sign up. I do write over there occasionally. I write about different transits and different things going on. So I just wrote about Neptune moving into Aries and kind of what we can expect from that. That's going to be in next week's episode of the podcast. So if you're interested in that information, it's going to be down there. I also have exclusive subscriptions that are available. This show is viewer supported, as is my blog. So if you're interested in having that in your world, if you want to offer financial support, that I'm able to keep bringing everything to you, and thank you for that. If that is something that you choose to do or already have chosen to do, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I also am bringing back, interestingly enough, this is not something that I have advertised and or talked about or promoted or, you know, all the words about that stuff. I haven't talked about it in a really long time, basically since like probably 2021, 2022. So it's been a couple of years. It's been a hot minute. It's been a while. The NFT collections that I have that are up, I have Death and Rebirth. If you looked at the descriptions of the show, you've probably seen them down there. I'm bringing them back, and now bringing them back more just, how do I say this? They're around again for exclusive subscription. So if you are looking to become an investor in the NFT space that I have created, right now there's 3 different investors, including myself, because I'm the one who created it, on the Death collection. The Rebirth collection is completely new. So up to you how you would want to kind of be in that space. There's more information down at the bottom, but if you're someone who's into NFTs or you're in that world and it's something that is interesting to you, then those NFTs also serve as and are like placeholders for lifetime subscription. So if you want to become a lifetime subscriber and you also want some cool blockchain art in the middle of the process, that's available. Both of my collections are up on my website as well as on OpenSea. And that is what I have to say about that. And I think we're ready to get into the week. So thanks for listening. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about what we got going on. Aries season. Oh my God. Everything's about to change. I feel like for months now, every couple episodes, I'm like, everything's about to change. And it just keeps changing. Everything just keeps changing. It just keeps changing. So that also, here we are. We're in the middle of eclipse season. Aries season is about to start. We're about to have our new Moon Solar Eclipse in Aries. Here we go. A new astrology year. Pisces season is done. We are through. And Pisces season really asks us to make the transitions that we need to so that we can start over again. So here we are. Beginning. This is the beginning. What are you winning? What are you grinning? How are you? How are you? Honestly, okay, I was gonna go in another direction, but yeah, how are you? How are you doing? We're at the start. It's the start of something new. It's the beginning. It's the start. It's the start of something new. Feels so right to be here with you. Oh, and now looking in your eyes, start of something new. Yeah, we're here. This is the new beginning, okay? This is the new beginning. So what do you want with your year? How are you? How do you feel about it? Where are we going now? Where are you going now? What do you want with your year? Aries is an interesting story. It's the story of the ram that comes to save the kids. It's a mom who sees her children are not doing well with their stepmother, and so the mother prays then to Zeus, and Zeus sends a ram. This ram has golden hair, and with that golden hair, the golden hair is important later in the story, but you know what? Golden hair. The ram has golden hair. So the mom puts the kids on the ram. The ram, with the kids, flies over the ocean to a new land so that the kids can have a new life, so that they can start something new. So that they can start something new. And in the start of something new, as they're going over, the girl, it's a boy and a girl, the girl falls off. So in Aries, there is the association of loss. So it's like unexpected loss, things that we don't necessarily mean to cross, or things that we don't necessarily mean to do. Or sometimes when we try to save ourselves, or we're trying to save whatever in the process, make the transitions, it's not always like the safest journey. Aries has a little bit of danger in it, has a little bit of risk in it, you know, doing things and having there be that Mars start to things, because Aries is ruled by Mars. So having there be that Mars start to things, it's a little bit risky, you know, going into battle, going into war, it's a little bit risky. That's what Mars is associated with. And also you reap the rewards. It's like, if you don't fight, there's no glory, that kind of thing. So they make it over, the boy in the story of Aries makes it over to the new land, makes it over to the new kingdom. He shears the ram of the golden hair. This is where the golden hair becomes important. The golden hair then is given to the king of the new land, and the king as like a thank you. I made it over here. Thank you for allowing me to be in your land, in your new land. So then the ram is sacrificed back to Zeus. Zeus receives the ram, and the boy gets to live his new life, probably as a young man, over in this new land. And that's the story. That's the story of Aries, the mother praying for something better for her children. And then not only those children having to leave their mother, story of growing up, you know, not only those children having to leave their mother, but then there's also loss in the story. And what helped those children cross into the new life was then also given back. So with Aries, even though Pisces is really associated with the veils and transition and changing our position, it's like the ending, and in every ending, there's a beginning, right? So Aries, there is still the story of transition. There's still the story of change. There's change in position, there's change in environment, and there's sacrifices that are made, which is also associated with Pisces. So really, if we look at because there's a lot of stuff in the previous like month into the coming month, we're kind of in the middle of it right now, where there's a lot of different conjunctions, crossings of planets and the sun and different things that are happening within Pisces and Aries space. And really, Pisces and Aries, it's kind of like the Fool card. If you put them together in tarot, it's like the Fool card. It's the beginning and the ending at the same time. And when we're going through the ending and then we're going into the beginning, things we have to sacrifice, sometimes we're unaware of them, things that we have to become, sometimes we don't know exactly how to get there, but we know we need to go there. So now that we're in Aries season, we're focused more on the beginning part of things rather than the change, rather than the shifts and the changing. We're now a little bit more focused on, okay, where do I need to go? How do I need to get there? It's more goal oriented sometimes, especially with the Mars energy. Mars is very direct. Mars is usually, I'm gonna say usually, because this entire season of Aries, I'm pretty sure it's the entire season of Aries. Let me fact check myself really quick, actually. Almost the entire Aries season. Almost the entire thing. And when I say almost, I mean like before the sun enters Taurus, we have a good day and a half of Mars being in Leo. So basically the entire Aries season is ruled by Mars in Cancer. We do at the end have Mars that enters into Leo, which will be ruling Aries at the very, very end. So it'll be a little bit different. We'll talk about that when we get to that position of Aries season. Let's focus more on the Mars and the Cancer, since that's where we're at, and that's what is going to be ruling our eclipse, the new Moon Solar Eclipse that's coming up in Aries as well. Crazy. I made a video about this on my TikTok and YouTube recently. I'm tired of Mars being in Cancer as someone who has a Cancer moon, and is very Mars ruled in other areas of my chart. I don't know how people who have Mars in Cancer, I mean, you just do it, right? But this energy is crazy. This energy is crazy because every single moon phase that we have is basically pretty much ruled, it is filtered through and or is ruled by itself. So like, for example, when we start this week off, we're starting with the moon in Sagittarius, but it makes a big circle. So the moon's in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Aries, ruled by Mars. And Mars is in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So it's just this big circle. And it's been doing that all season. Both of the eclipses are ruled by themselves because of that happening. And I'm sitting over here looking at kind of the astrological blowback of it, or the astrological like bigger picture of it. It's like if every single moon is ruled by itself, because we're near all this Aries energy right now, and Mars is like a really big influence on the season that we're having currently. Mars also just went direct, so like this is the very big beginning. Mars only retrogrades every 2 years, so we're on a new direction, a new path of victory and battle for ourselves. So clock that first and foremost. Secondly, it's in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So it's like the head and the heart working together. Aries is the ruler of the head. It's our mind. It's our mind escape. It's how we have a relationship with our mind. It's how we start things in our mind. And recently, actually, speaking of going into Aries season, in my live stream readings recently, basically a majority of my readings have been spirit telling people to go and start meditating. Go meditate, go sit, go meditate, go internalize, go internalize, talk with yourself, realize where you're at, what is going on inside that head, that beautiful, beautiful brain of yours. That's been like, I did a reading yesterday. It was like, I did many readings yesterday, probably about 8 or 9 of them, and on my live stream. And there was at least 3 people, I think, who got the homework of go sit and meditate. So I also too, with this upcoming Saturn that's going to be in Aries and Neptune is switching into Aries, I do actually, like, just on a general level, highly recommend. Meditation will help you be a friend. It will help you be a friend. Meditation itself will be a friend. It's going to be a helpful place to be in the upcoming season, because with Mars in Cancer, we have this big head, okay, the big heart. They're like fused together right now. Normally with the head and the heart, at least this is how it works for me, they're like kind of separate entities or separate spaces where my logic is working one way. My heart reflects that, but it's processing things maybe a little bit differently, or looking at things maybe a little bit differently. And so then when I need to bring them together, you know, I actively will unify them. We don't really have an option or a choice in this season. I don't know how you feel about that, but you know what? That's where we're at. So we don't really have an option or a choice in this season. Mars in Cancer is saying our head and our heart are together kind of no matter what. And the reason I say I don't know how people with Mars in Cancer do this all the time, I'm tired of not having logic that is not associated with how I feel. I'm really tired of it. We're also, because we're in eclipse season, we're also going into, okay, loud car, go for it. Because we're in Aries season and this is full of new beginnings, we're in eclipse season, Mars just went direct, and one of our eclipses is ruled by Aries. There's like this massive shift that's about to happen, and is like, it's a shift that's happening, and also there's going to be kind of a finality point of that shift once we get to the new Moon Solar Eclipse in Aries, and then the rest of that's on March 29th. It's not going to be in this episode, so just a heads up, but it is on March 29th. We'll talk about it next week, which I'm really excited for. And also, it's going to be big. We're going to talk a little bit more about just some crazy things at the end of the episode that are happening next week as like up next. You know how like on TV shows they do the prequel of the next episode? Or we're going to do a little bit of that at the end just because it's the eclipses. Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to talk about that later, but on the 29th. So we have kind of a finality there. And then for the rest of Aries season, we're kind of like adjusting and being like, oh yeah, this is the new life. Oh yeah, this is the new world. Oh yeah, I did ask for this. Oh yeah, I did become this. Oh yeah, I have created this. And this is where I am now. So we're in this moment of really like surrender. Surrendering. It's time to surrender. Be a befriender, you know, of surrender. Not surrender to things you don't want, but just surrender to what you have become and where you're at, and being able to control what you can control and give up the rest. Give up the rest, not to be stressed, you know? Give up the rest, not to be stressed. So that's Aries season. We have a lot of mental starts to things. One of my favorite things about Aries season 2 is that the seeds start in the mind. So since this is the beginning of the year, and it's springtime, happy springtime, at least where I am is springtime. If it's not springtime, happy season change, you know? So the new ideas that are coming in, the new mental, what's happening in your mind gets refreshed. Your mind gets maybe decompressed a little bit. Your minds will start to change over this season, and that is going to be connected to the heart. Expect things to change kind of largely also with the moon and the eclipses happening and Mars being in Cancer, ruled by these big shifts that are going on. We're meant to make really big changes right now. It could be a change of personality where you're like, I'm actually not that person anymore. I don't need to talk like that or be like that, whatever it is. It could be a change in your reality. Maybe you're like, I don't need those friends anymore. I don't need that job anymore. I have this other opportunity. I'm going to go do this other thing. Actually, I think I'm going to take my life in this direction, whatever it is. I don't know exactly what it is. Still, you know, remain stable how you need to and be grounded as a human, how, where and when and how and why you would need to be. And also understand that there's going to be some pretty big changes that are coming through. Emotionally, they're going to be emotionally charged probably. Right now, one of the homeworks that's been given in a lot of the live stream readings I've been doing, something I've been sitting with on a personal level as well, is sitting with my emotions. Sit with your emotions. Sit with the emotions, the emotion ocean, okay? Because right now, with all of this moon and the water and all this, just the so much water energy that's up in, it's like in the fire water energy because it's Mars. So it's fire water energy. Things could get hot really quickly. Things could get, you know, picked up really quickly, and the waves could change really quickly. So it's just be mindful, because there are a lot of big shifts that are happening internally. There's lots of big shifts that are happening externally, and we're being asked to make big shifts in this current moment. So Aries season, we're going to have more adjustment in the coming weeks, but right now we're focused on really like the activation, the start. Get it done right here, right now, and let your heart lead you. If your heart feels like, yes, that's what I want to do, then go do that. I literally, yes, last night I was sitting with something in my heart. I was doing some heart work, and then at the end of that heart work, I had this idea. I was like, I kind of want to go do that. I haven't done that in a long time. I woke up this morning, and it was the first thought that I had. The first thought that I had, I was like, I want to go do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to listen then. I'm going to listen. And then when I went and did the thing that I was thinking about last night and this morning when I woke up, I went and did the thing, and I was like, oh, I get why I was called into this. I understand why my heart wanted to do this. This makes sense, actually. Okay, I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen. So let there be change in position. It's a little bit uncomfortable, especially because we have the North Node right now in Pisces, which is, again, part of that Aries transition story, the Fool, the ending and the beginning at the same time. So with the North Node in Pisces, the eclipse that's coming up in Aries, which the North Node was just in Aries, we're asked to get uncomfortable. This is not supposed to be a time where we feel a lot of comfort. As much as I might not like that, that's where we are. So this is a time where we don't feel very comfortable. It's like reminiscent of old versions of ourselves or younger versions of ourselves, reminiscent of that, but very different, reminiscent of where we've been, but very different. So having this kind of really big reflection of like, I remember that version of myself years and years and years ago, but I'm here now and it's different now. Oh, I remember that version of myself years ago, but I'm here now and it's different now. So it's a big years long mirror through time. Take time to adjust and trust in where you are currently, trust in your heart, trust in your work, trust in who you become. There's more to ground once we get to mid-June into mid-July around what's happening in this time period. Right now, we're being asked to start and then take the months in like the upcoming months to really like set things into motion. So activations, the starting of things, becoming our different version of ourselves. We're kind of like shedding our skin right now, metamorphosis, coming out of the cocoon, maybe. However you would like to describe that within natural nature terms, that's what's happening. So in the transformation, let every season, especially this week, that's kind of big picture stuff. Let's bring it back to this week. If you are taking this week, thanks Spirit, if you're taking this week to sit in the adjustments of the new beginning, who am I now? Where am I going? What's starting? What's my mind thinking about? What do I need to do to get up and get moving and get going and get grooving? It's springtime. It's a new season. If it's not springtime where you are, it's a new season. I'm starting a new season. We're starting this new astrological year. Here we go. I need to go. What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? That's where the heart comes in to lead you. So before we get to the eclipse, just in this week by itself, before we get to the eclipse, let there be a ending, beginning. Again, this is what I mean by this kind of time. It's like a moment of surrender where there's endings, there's beginnings, and it's like really big endings, really big beginnings for a lot of people. So take the time. There's a lot of emotions, heightened emotions. There's a lot of mind stuff happening. And right now also Neptune's about to shift into Aries as well. So we have that's a 14-year long transit. So we have this huge transit of Neptune that's coming to an end next week. It's right after the eclipse. So we're in just like this huge breaking moment where, you know, like a breaking moment that is sweet, okay? If you have a chocolate bar that has those like indentations on it and you're going to break it apart, that's kind of the moment that we're in right now. It's like we're breaking something off so that we can have a sweet treat. We can, you know, it's going to be sweet. maybe more than just a treat, honestly. But there is this moment of breaking where it's like I've broken these cycles, I've broken these patterns, I've broken out of what I've been doing, and now I'm here. I've broken out of this. Here we are. I've broken. It's broken. There's a breaking. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. So with the breaking, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This is going to be kind of like awareness. And then once we get into the eclipses, there's going to be a lot of big closures, beginnings. It'll be more final. This is like, how would I describe this week? Actually, that's a good point. This is like, if you're about to walk out of the door to go on an adventure, this week is, do I have my bags packed? Do I have all my chargers? Do I have my toiletries and all the stuff that I need for my shower? Do I have all the outfits I want to bring? Do I have all my technology? Is the gas tank full? Do we have to get gas on the way? Whatever it is, that's what this week is for, okay? This week is before I go out the door, before I leave this place, do I have everything? Have my prerequisites been met? Do I feel prepared? And if not, what do I need to do to make sure that I am prepared? Do I need to go and pack an extra bag? Do we need to make sure that there's snacks in the car, okay? What do you need to do? Make sure it's true for you, because once we get to, I was mentioning the June-July time frame, once we get to June and July, there's gonna be a revealing. Did you lie or did you tell the truth? Were you being truthful and honest with yourself, or did you fake it? Did you fake it? Because we're about to break it. We're about to break off of an old life, of an old version of ourselves. We're about to break out of an old cycle. It's a breaking moment upcoming in this eclipse. So before we get to the breaking moment, really create space and time for yourself to make sure the truth, the version of you that you're sitting with, is really actually who you are. Not who you were, not who you want to be, who you are. And there's a difference. Who you were, previous versions of us are welcome to pop back up when they need to, right? Sometimes we got to do healing work. Sometimes we need the information and the wisdoms of our children that we've been with in this lifetime. And I love that. And I'm grateful for it. The versions that we want to be, sometimes we can't be the version of ourselves that we want to be yet. Sometimes we are the version that we are. And maybe there's a version of ourselves that we want to be that maybe just isn't possible. Maybe there's a version of ourselves that we want to be that we haven't done the work to earn yet. Maybe there's a version of ourselves that we want to be that we haven't turned into yet, right? So it's like checking in right here, right now. I'm this me. I am me here. Very present, very clear. I'm me here. This is where I am. This is what I want with this version of me. Sometimes dreams and the wants and desires that we ask for, they show up unexpectedly. So really take the time to sit and check in with yourself. Who am I here? What has become clear? Anytime that you feel the fear of things, the fear of, I haven't made myself enough. The fear of, oh, I haven't done the work. The fear of, I don't like who I've become. The fear of, I don't want to be here. Let things become clear. Who am I now? Where is this narrative coming from? Where have I been? What is this that I need to sit in? Okay, sit in it, reveal it, surrender to it. This is an order that was brought to me earlier. It's like yesterday, I think. Surrender, receive, and then leave. Surrender, receive, and then leave. I'm going to say it again. Surrender, receive, and then leave. Because if we are in a space of surrender, that we've placed ourselves in a position then to be able to receive. If you're surrendering, okay, there is receiving that's happening. If I'm surrendering, okay, yeah, I'll receive what's around. That's what you're saying. That's what I would communicate that as. Okay, yeah, if I'm surrendering, I will accept, I will receive. If I'm surrendering, yeah, I'll receive. And that signifies to the spirits around me, okay, well, she's ready to receive, so let's bring in what we've been waiting to give her. Surrender, receive. Surrender, receive. Then receiving, this is receiving to leaving, surrender, receive, leave, right? Receiving to leaving is a little bit different, because receiving, when you're in receiving, that means you're no longer in the old version of that previous version of you, which means you're leaving. Here's the breaking. You're leaving where you were. So if you place yourself in a position of surrender, you're able to receive. And when you receive, you are leaving. Thank goodness. So I'll leave. I don't know what you're doing, but listen, I'll leave. There's a lot of stuff I've been carrying for a long time. I would like to put it down. Let's go into the new. I'm kind of excited. I'm looking forward to it. I would like to know who I'm going to be several months from now. You know, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be different. It's going to be different. June and July. Did you lie? Are you in your truth? So that's Aries season. All right. Surrender, receive, leave. That's this week in Aries season. And kind of what to expect coming up. So from the 20th to the 22nd, let's get into some moon stuff now. The moon's going to be in Sagittarius. Now, do you remember back in, it's like early December, really like the end of November into early January, all right? Go and look for yourself at your story. What was closing in your story? It's like December and January, really those 2 months. Did you go back and revisit anything and then decide you're done with it? Did you go back and like re-clarify some things about your storyline and then you were like, yeah, I'm actually finished with that? Did you go back and was there a return to anything? And then maybe you said to yourself, actually, I don't think I want to be that person anymore. Or maybe you decided you were going to bring it with you. Either way, okay, either way. Maybe there's a change, an alteration. Oh, I used to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way now. Different, right? Okay, so going back to that time frame, December, it's like late November, December, January time frame. Jupiter was retrograde. That's where this is coming from. Jupiter was retrograde. It was also in opposition to a Mercury that was in around Sagittarius. Okay, right now, Mercury is retrograde, ruling Jupiter that's in Gemini. Love you, Jupiter. Love you, Gemini. Mercury retrograde, crazy. Crazy that that's happening in this season, but it is. So Jupiter that's in Gemini, ruled by that Mercury retrograde, ruled by, because that's in Aries, that Mercury retrograde's in Aries. Here's another moon circle for you. Mercury that's in retrograde, I think I already said this one, but I'll say it again, is in Aries. Mars is in Cancer, so it's ruled by the moon. So we've got this big circle. Our storyline that we've ended late November through January, we're like, yeah, I'm done with that actually. I'm finished with that story. I want to do something else. I'm finished with that story. I'm going to go in this new adventure, in this new direction. I'm finished with that story. I'm me now. I'm new now. I'm different now. I'm finished with that story. I'm finished with that story. I'm finished with that story. This moon, we're right before a third quarter moon. This moon is about to be the kind of final clearings of that story out. The final clearings, the final revering. Oh, wow, I did that. I lived that. I was that. Weird. Oh, okay. Okay. I've changed. I'm different. That's kind of weird. Seeing ourselves from the other side of the story, like we've been through something, we made it through something, and now we have the clarity on it. Strange. That's what's happening during this moon in Sagittarius. So we're also going to be able to, Sagittarius is the archer, so we might also be able to kind of redirect some things. Oh, I was that person. That's weird. I did that. That's weird. I'm grateful I am who I am now. That's weird. Okay, fate. Not me saying weird over and over again and not even mentioning the fact that, you know, fate's around. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, okay, fate, I see you. I see you. So if fate is around, then there's something that's about to ground and or cross. Also storylines, that's fate work, that's fate weaving. So if you are working in fate or you're weaving your fates or you're leaving something, surrender, receive, and leave. If you're leaving something, you're leaving a chapter, you're leaving a season, you're leaving an era, maybe it's a whole book, let it go. This is gonna be a moon that helps you see kind of like not only where you are now, but it's like clarifying of, wow, I really did let that go. Wow, I really did the work to clear that out. Wow, I really am not there anymore. Wow, I really am here now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Weird. And also gratitude. Gratitude, grateful. Okay, so that's the moon in Sagittarius. And I'm grateful for that, honestly. Let the story rearrange and change. Let it rearrange and change. Let it rearrange and change. We have some other stuff happening with Jupiter later in the year, so we're gonna see things a little bit more clearly in the coming months when it comes to like big picture storyline stuff, but this is going to be a really big closing moment. Really big closing moment of like, wow, I'm not there anymore. Oh, wow, I'm not that person anymore. And then right after that moon phase, we have the sun conjunct with the Venus retrograde in Aries. It's on March 23rd at 1:07 a.m. UTC. Now, sun conjunctions are always really interesting because they bring this really, really big illumination. They bring this illumination that says, here, see the full truth of this. Here, see everything. See everything, this is for you. See everything, 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 everything. You want the truth? Okay, here it is. You want the truth? Okay, well, the sun will have it basically every single time. Here's the truth. You want the truth? Here's the truth. So the 23rd at 1:07 a.m. UTC time with the sun conjunct Venus retrograde in Aries. Here's the truth, because Venus retrograde, you're worth more. That's really what a Venus retrograde is. You're worth more. You're worth more than the situation that you're in. You're worth more than the people that you're around. You're worth more than the partner. You're worth more than the job. You're worth more than the money. You're worth whatever it is, okay? It's different for everybody, and every single Venus retrograde is different. So there's that. So apply as needed to the areas of your life. But you're worth more. You're worth more. So the sun coming through and being conjunct with this Venus retrograde in Aries says, okay, you're at the new beginning. You're a new person. The storyline is done. You're starting something new. You're worth more now. So what are you worth? Redefine that. What are you worth now? Well, I was worth that. I was worth this fight. I was in this fight for a long time. I was fighting for this for a long time. That's the Aries energy. I was fighting for this for a long time, and now I become that. I did this for a long time, and now here I am. What are you worth now? Also, clarity too around kind of the worth that you earned. What did you do to get to the point where now you're in this position of earned worth? And simultaneously, how do I say this? Not only what are you worth now, Venus retrograde helps us to understand by looking backwards where we want to be in the future. Where do I want to go? We're at the beginning. We're at not just what I did to become worth what I am here. Where do I want to be in a year and a half? That's how long Venus direct is, about a year and a half. With that year and a half coming up, there could be some things where you're like, I am worth this. I am worth this new desire. I am worth this new, think higher. Aries is fire. Light a candle for yourself if you need to, bring the clarity through if you need to. Where you want to go, what you want to do, how you want to be. What are you worth now? What does that look like? What are you willing to do to be in that worth? Because again, Aries, part of the story is sacrifice. Unexpected sacrifices. Accidental sacrifices. Sacrifices of birthrights. Sacrifices of worth. So with Venus retrograding here and the sun being conjunct with it, okay, well, if you're worth this now, where are we going? Where are we going? What are you going to do with the worth that you've earned? You've earned worth as a birthright, Aries. It has to do with birthrights. So this is your birthright. That's crazy. This is your birthright. And within that, where are you going to go now? You've earned a birthright. You've earned a right. You're sitting in the worth of a birthright. Let's just have a moment for a second. For a minute, however long it takes. Look at the world that we live in. How many times in the world is there something that asks us not to sit in the birthrights that we are given? The way society moves, the way the systems of our society are set up, old traditions, superstitions sometimes too, depends on you and what you got going on, family expectations just generally of society. How many times have you told yourself, no, I'm not going to do that? Other people are going to think that I'm different. Other people are not going to like me. Other people, da-da-da-da-da. Venus retrograde in Aries conjunct with the sun says, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. This is my birthright. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says about it. It doesn't matter what anybody else would do about it. It doesn't matter because this is who I am. I was born to be this. I was born with the rights of this. I was born a human. I was born a human, just like everybody else. So being born a human, just like everybody else, what does that birthright mean to you? What is that birthright worth to you? Because also, if we look at the world, there's a lot of people who would, however you feel about this is the truth. There's a lot of people who would condemn other people in this current time for being in their birthrights. So sitting in a birthright, it's kind of a dangerous thing to do. That's part of the Aries story, part of the Aries energy. I don't know if you want to put it as part of the story, but part of the Aries energy is like not only being in the birthright, but being able to protect it and defend it, grow with it. So we got Venus. It's like the feminine birthrights. Woman's birthrights, the womb's birthrights, mother's birthrights. Also, Venus is born of the castration of Uranus. Isn't that wild? That's a little crazy. That's a little like, whoa, hey, whoa. Okay, God stories, where did that come from? You know, Uranus gets castrated and his, what is cut off gets thrown into the sea. Neptune's land, Neptune's space, I guess it's not land, but the space of Neptune. And from the sea foam of that, Venus is born. There's Venus. So this primordial being, I love Venus. This primordial being, Uranus, the primordial parent of Saturn, the before time and order and structure primordial parent being, Uranus, gets castrated, first of all. Ooh. So Venus is like the final child. That's pretty intense. The final woman, the final child, the final being, born of that primordial. Whoa. Okay, Venus. All right, yeah. Primordial parent Uranus, grateful for you. That's true. Yes. Venus, primordial parent too, in her own right. So, speaking of rights, the birthrights of your primordial being, the birthrights of your primordial practice, the birthrights of your before time was here, before order existed, the creation that you sit in, the premonition that you receive. We're about to leave a large chapter of our lives come this new moon solar eclipse in Aries. So Venus conjunct the sun, Venus retrograde conjunct the sun in Aries. The birthrights, no more fights for the birthrights, unless it is for protection, defending, as it is, as it needs to be. You can't take birthrights away from people. You can just make them bound up in an order where they're not able to fully be free in those rights. But you have rights. You're born with them. The birthright to fight, the birthright to breathe, the birthright to see, if you're not born blind, Birthrights. So the birthrights of a woman, the birthrights of the final woman also, from the primordial parent. The final child of the primordial parent is a girl, is a woman, is the feminine. The birthrights of the finalities of feminine. The birthrights of womanhood, the birthrights of motherhood. We're about to see something really large because in our previous eclipse season, oh golly, let's talk about it. The new moon solar eclipse that was in Libra, October 2nd, part of that was the dark moon. The dark moon was conjunct with Mercury in that time and space. And Libra, is ruled by Venus. So we started a whole entire new chapter, 9-year, 18-year chapter on that eclipse in Libra, October 2nd, 2024, where we're calling in new justice for mother. That's a part of it. Libra is about justice, it's about balance, it's about equality, making sure things are equal, favorable for both. parties or organizations involved. So the balance. It's also about commerce if you wanted to bring money into it. Equality, balance. So we started a new chapter of womanhood, justice, orientation on that new moon solar eclipse, October 2nd, 2024. So here we are, Sun conjunct Venus in the birthrights, Aries, and Venus is retrograde. So we're going to probably revisit that October 2nd eclipse. We're in the middle of eclipse season, while simultaneously not just revisiting it, but saying, yeah, I'm worth more than that. Whatever was happening on that October 2nd eclipse around that time, in that season, yeah, I'm worth more than that, actually. I'm worth way more than that, and the only reason I didn't see it is because society told me so. The only reason I didn't see it is because maybe I was raised in a way that made me think that I shouldn't be that, or I couldn't be that. I'm not doing that anymore. I was born to be this. I was born to be this person. I was born to be here. I was born. And so it is. I was born, and that's it. I was born. And that's enough. So we have our Sun conjunct Venus retrograde in Aries. I was born, and so it is. I was born, and so I am. I was born. A new Aries horn, okay? The ram horn, getting a little fighty, protective. It is. So be it, 24th, we have Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries. Surprise, surprise, I'm not. Surprise, surprise, I'm not. Yup. Also, before I even get into the Sun conjunct Mercury in Aries, this is happening while the moon is in Capricorn. And this moon, it's not only a third quarter moon, which is like very directional. The way that I sit with third quarter moons a lot of the time is it's revealing of clearing. It's a revealing of the direction going into the darkness so I can make it into the next cycle and still have my sights. So there's some preparation to it in the sense of things are about to be really dark. I'm not going to be able to see much, so I need to know kind of where I'm going. In that perspective of we're about to start a new cycle. So there could be honestly some premonition and intuition because Saturn right now is in Pisces, which is Saturn is ruling this Capricorn third quarter moon, the 22nd through the 24th. So if that premonitory space is at all preminating for you, listen, this is a time to sit, listen, change your position, sit, listen, change your position, sit, listen, change your position, sit and listen and change your position. We'll make a song out of it, okay? It's time to do that. Sit and listen and change your position. Saturn is like, okay, not only with the birthrights thing, because Saturn is also born of Uranus. Saturn and Venus are both children of Uranus. They're both children of Uranus. So the fact that this is happening while we have this third quarter moon that's happening in Capricorn, interesting. We also have this third quarter moon that's in Capricorn is not ruled by this Mars moon circle where the moon rules itself like basically every single other placement that's happening in our moon spaces right now. So because of that, we have a different perspective. We're able to see things differently. It's not going to be maybe as emotional, to be honest, or there's going to be a lot of detailed emotions, but it's not going to be so... It's going to be intense in a different way. It's going to be intense in a spiritual sense. It'll be intense because it's Pisces, right? So it's like the accumulation of everything that has been, the accumulation of everywhere I've been, the accumulation of everything. This old life I've lived is over. I'm going somewhere new and I've got to figure out where I'm going. I'm going somewhere new and I have to understand where I'm going. Saturn is very serious. Saturn is very, very serious. So I've earned this. I was born this. I earned this. Here I am. Where am I going? I was born, I earned, I'm here. I was born, I earned, I'm here. So this could be a good moon to look in the mirror, to be honest with you. Look in the mirror. Mirror magic, mirror work. Sit, talk with yourself. Sit and look at yourself. Who are you now? Who you been? Where you going? Sit and listen and change your position, because we're also about to have Neptune's at the very end. I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier. Neptune's at the very end of its transit in Pisces. So things are very serious right now. Things are very serious. Very serious. No more mysterious. Neptune and Pisces is like, sometimes there's mysteries. Usually there is. mysteries, things unseen. There's the clouds, there's the veils, there's a bunch of stuff that we just like don't understand. Cool, thanks Pisces. And also, we're at the end. There's not a lot of room for mystery right now when it comes to Piscean energy, and that's where Saturn is at. So very serious. Very serious. There's a lot of mystery in the world, but what you've been through and where you're going is not allowed because of Saturn's placement currently to be mysterious. You have to know, you have to understand. What have to is such a like strong or aggressive sort of way to say that. How else can I word that? It's a moon where if you wanted to understand, now's the time to sit and make sure that you do. Now's the time to sit and make sure that you do. Do as in action, do as in listen. Sit, listen, change your position. Action required. Also, who you been? We had the graduation, what was that? A couple weeks ago. So with the graduation, and then we had the full moon. Now we're in this change of position on a large scale in the eclipse season. And this third quarter moon is saying to us, okay, well, give yourself the room and the time, because Saturn's also time. So if you need to take time to understand the change in position, sit, listen, change your position. Sit, listen, and change your position. You're a different person now. You understand more about your worth now. You understand more about what you were born with now. You understand more now. You've earned more now also. Birthrights are for babies, you know? We've earned a lot since then. Boop. Cool. Thanks, life, for letting us live. You know, we've earned a lot since then. So a little change up on that. Also, so let's return to then that Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde that's in Aries. Oh, Mercury retrograde. This Mercury retrograde is coming through to help us talk about stuff. Talk about it. Get it off your chest. Talk to the spirits. Let it rest. Talk to the spirits. This is where I've been. This is where I want to go. This is how I feel right now. Talk to the spirits. Talk. You need to talk to a friend. You need to talk to your parents. You need to talk to the spirits. You need to talk to the altar. You need to talk to yourself. Who do you need to talk to? Go and talk to them. Sun conjunct Mercury retrograde in Aries. Right after this, that's on the 24th, 1948 UTC time. So it's basically an entire 2 days after the Sun conjunct Venus retrograde in Aries, even though it's the 23rd and the 24th. It's almost 48 hours, not quite. Not quite, so it's almost 2 days. What are you asking for? What are you asking for? Because this Mercury retrograde is also going to be ruling over the Jupiter that's in Gemini. And it's also ruling over the South Node that's in Virgo. So, well, that's kind of crazy. Whatever you're talking about is going to expand into something. Whatever you're talking about is going to expand into something. It could be you're talking about clearing things and leaving things behind. You could be that you're talking about things to get things off your chest. Now you're making room. There's going to be room for expansion then. It could be that you're talking about your dreams and where you want to go. You're going to understand more about those dreams and where you want to go a little bit later on. Everything that's happening in this time period. When is this again? This Mercury retrograde conjunct the Sun in Aries, 24th, 1948 UTC time. How you're speaking about things, when you're speaking about them, where you're speaking about them, how you're talking about, who you're talking to. This is a time to let your dreams come through. I want this. I want this. I know that. I'm sure of it. I want this and I know that and I'm sure of it. I know who I am. I know what I'm worth. I know what I was born with. I know who I was born to be. I know my purpose. I know what I'm starting. You might not understand the full implications of it. You might not understand yet what you need to sacrifice to make it there. That's all right though. If it's your dream, oh goodness. If it's yours, if it's your birthright and you are worth it and you want it and that's who you are, then it's worth the sacrifice. At least in my opinion. At least in my opinion. Everything that you want is worth it. You wouldn't be able to dream it if you weren't able to do it. In a cliche kind of sense. If you can dream it, you have this dream in your head. If you have this dream in your heart, something unsaid, maybe something you don't ever talk about, something you don't tell other people about, something that's just yours, it's just for you. God gave that to you for a reason. Spirit gave that to you for a reason. You dreamt it up from who knows where for a reason. If you really want that, if you really want to go and do that, we're in this really big moment of change right now. We've got an 18-year transit starting with Pluto and Aquarius. We have a 14-year transit coming to an end, and then a new one starting with Neptune moving into Aries. We're in the middle of an eclipse season. We have Venus retrograding, which is binding up our new order for a year and a half. Mars just went direct, which is binding up, we're in this new direction for another 2 years. We're in a large moment of, here we go. We're in a new ride now. And we're not just in one new ride. This is like a whole new car. We're going in a different direction. We have different people around it. This is like a different, entirely different show. This is not just a different season. This is an entirely different show. It's different now, even though you are you. Here we are, it's new. So let your dreams come through, okay? If you feel like it's time to talk about it, this is who I want to be. Talk to spirit. Talk to the spirits on your team. Talk about it. Have your relationships. Let me back it up. Hold on. Let me not get so aggressive. There's help on the way. There's help on the way. Okay. It might not be exactly right now today, but part of Aries' story is that the mother prays for help and it shows up. What do you need help with? What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Okay. Yeah. Let the spirits make a list. They're going to send help then. They're going to send you what you need. Again, it might not be right now. It might not be today, but it's going to show up. Aries, part of the story is guaranteed help. It's guaranteed help from the gods. Guaranteed. So what do you need? What do you want? Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? If it's guaranteed, if you know you're going to make it, where do you want to be? If you know that you could land wherever you want, where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Talk to the spirits on your team. Talk to the spirits at your altar. Talk to spirit, talk to God, talk to whoever you talk to. Talk to yourself. Talk about it. You got to talk about it because if you don't say anything, think about that for a second. If there's a parent and a child in the room and the child needs help, but the child isn't talking, how can the parent help them? So talk to them, tell them about it, get it off of your chest, and then let it rest and get to work if you need to. Honestly, if you feel like it's time, talk about it and then go start something. Talk about it and then begin. Talk about it and then say, yeah, I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm going to win. I already know it. It's guaranteed. If it's guaranteed, all I got to do is walk. Okay, well then let me show up. I'm going to move my feet. If it's a birthright, nobody can take your seat. Guaranteed help? Guaranteed? What do you need? What do you need? You got to talk about it. Talk about it, walk about it. Talk about it, walk about it. So that's the Mercury retrograde conjunction with the sun. Then we've got, again, that 22 to 24 of March, the moon's in Capricorn. So again, a large change of direction. Sit for further inspection. This is also a great moon if you need to divinate, okay? If you need to prophesize, if you need to scry about some things, if you need, however it is that you receive your messages from the spirit and you have your directions come through, however it is, if you sit and have a reading or two, okay? However you do that, now is the time to do that. However you do that, now is the time to do that. Make some offerings to sit with your spirits. Let yourself receive some information if you need to do that too. If that's something that you do, okay? If that's true for you, now is the time to sit, receive, surrender, earlier, surrender, receive, and leave. That's kind of this whole entire week, okay? We're in a big change in position. I'm not gonna, large change in position. We don't normally have so much permission from the spirits to just go and do whatever we want. There's chaos in the world right now. There's always kind of chaos in the world right now, but like there's chaos, you know what I mean? There's chaos in the world. So there's chaos in the world. Things are in a strange way right now. And because things are in a strange way right now, the spirits that are kind of like, hey, okay, well, you got to make some decisions down there on Earth. You got to make some decisions. What are you going to do? Who are you going to be? There's chaos around. There's things that we can't control. So where are you going? What you want to do? So divinate if you need to. Sit, divinate if you need to. Understand so that you can go into the new. Further inspection, introspection, further inspection, change your direction. Change your direction. Even if that change of direction is just being more sure of yourself. That could be the change of direction that you need. Maybe with all this sun clarity on Venus retrograde and this sun clarity on Mercury retrograde in Aries that's happening at the same time that this moon is happening, when you're having all those this highlighted clarity coming in, maybe those highlighted clarities are like, whoa, I am worth that. I can go do that. I do want that. Okay, well, let me be more sure of myself. I was given that for a reason. that seed was planted in my head and my heart for a reason. So maybe I just need to be more sure of myself. Maybe I just need to be more loving and more kind to myself. Maybe I just need to be more supportive of myself. Maybe that's the change in direction. And also this information that's coming in on the sun, conjunct Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde in Aries, those that are happening too, could also be, oh, let me change my direction. Whoa, I am worth more. Let me change my direction. Oh, I have these dreams. Let me change my direction. I didn't even realize I was off course, but now I do. Here we go. I'm changing. I'm changing and it's going to be intentional. I'm changing and it's going to be direct. I'm changing. No more time to further inspect once we get to that new moon solar eclipse in Aries. So if you need to sit and listen and further inspect, now is the time to do that. Now is the time to do that. Then we get to the 24th to the 26th, and we have the moon in Aquarius. We have the moon in Aquarius, partially ruled by the Saturn that's in Pisces, with the Neptune in Pisces. All right. Then we have the other ruler of this is Uranus, who is in right now Taurus, ruled by the Venus retrograde, where we just had that Sun-Venus retrograde conjunction. All right. And Venus is still going to be in Aries for this too. Venus is still going to be in Aries for this too. The Venus retrograde is still going to be in Aries. So another moon of guaranteed what do you need. Another moon. Guaranteed what do you need. Guaranteed what do you need. It's going to come a little bit more chaotically. It's going to come a little bit more unexpectedly. There could be things that are grounding in your life during this moon phase that you didn't see coming, but you need them for whatever you're about to become. Unexpected, didn't think about it, I had no idea, couldn't have predicted this. Couldn't have predicted this. But here we are. Here we are. Couldn't have predicted it. Couldn't have told you about it. And you know what? That happened to me. I feel like I want to share that story. That happened to me recently. I went in to go get my nails done. I had a design. Took it in. I didn't realize they had a whole schedule, so they were like, well, we might not have time for it. So they sat me with somebody, and they were like, if you don't have time for it, what do you want? And I was like, well, just black coffin nails. We'll get that. That's fine. All right. Then she talked to another person before she did anything, before she started. She talked to another person. She was like, oh, that person can do your design. So I went over with the new person, and they showed me some different colors that I had never seen before. Fancy. I liked them. They were beautiful. They were bringing them out for the design. And I didn't even, because before when I was thinking about getting my nails done, I was like, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know what I want. I don't know what I would get. I don't know what I would do. But I like this design, so we'll do that. And it was between that and getting black coffin nails. I was like, I don't really want that. I like this design, but maybe that's not exactly what I want either. And when I went in, they had exactly what I wanted, but there's no way, it was not on a menu anywhere. There's no way I could have known about it till I showed up. But I showed up. And I showed up. Both. I showed up. There I was, having my nails done, having exactly what I wanted, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted until I was there. I didn't know exactly what I wanted until I arrived. So this moon, 24th to the 26th in Aquarius, you might know that you need to go through an experience. You might know that you need to, because Aquarius is about the knowings. The Uranus part of it is about the knowings. I know I need to do this. I know I need to create that. I know I need to go through that. I know I need to offer that. I know I need to receive that. I know I need to create it. Being in tune with that creative energy. I know I need to create that. Whatever the creation is. Again, it could be creating an experience, going and getting your nails done, you know. There's creation energy in that too. It could be creating a meal for yourself. We got the South Node in Virgo right now, you know. Food magic is a thing. It could be going on a walk. Or it could be, I know I need to create that experience. I'm going to listen to my favorite album. Whatever it is that you feel like you know you need to do, Spirit's been listening. Have you been talking the previous week? As these placements have been happening, you've been talking about it, you've been working in it, you've been walking in it, you've been understanding, you've been open-handing, let it land, things are grand, you know? And now, thanks, Spirit. And now, 24th through the 26th, Moon in Aquarius. Okay, well, Spirit's been listening. So now listen to your intuition, listen to those knowings, listen to the callings, and go create, because guaranteed help is on the way. Guaranteed help is on the way. Guaranteed help is on the way. Moon in Aquarius, the 24th through the 26th. Guaranteed help also has the possibility of arriving as long as you allow yourself to go do the new thing, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. Go do the thing that you are called to do, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable, because Saturn is sitting in Pisces with the North Node, which means we're probably going to have to do things to get out of order and maybe not out of order. We're just going to have to use our time differently than maybe we normally do to be able to have these experiences that would allow this random, chaotic happening where guaranteed help arrives. It could be guaranteed help of an idea. It could be guaranteed help of a deliverance. It could be guaranteed help of a receiving. It could be guaranteed help of some kind of clarity of the mind coming through. There's a lot of different ways that it could show up. I don't know how Spirit's going to show up for you, but I do know what these transits are offering, and that is going to be a beautiful time to get creative and let things align, because then here we're going to go into the prequel of what's next week, okay? Coming up, we have the dark moon moves into Scorpio. Oh my God. Venus is retrograding back into Pisces, is going to be conjunct with Neptune at the end of its transit in Pisces. And then 2 days later, we have the new Moon Solar Eclipse happening in Aries. About 24 hours from that time frame, we have Neptune conjunct with Mercury retrograde at the end of Pisces, and then Neptune moves into Aries on the 30th. The 27th through the 31st, the next podcast episode is probably going to be a little bit longer than that, but just for time frame reference, the 27th, that's only 4 days. The 27th through the 31st is only 4 days, and there is about to be an entire alteration. The alteration that you are asking for, the alteration that you have been weaving, the alteration, remember, surrender, receive, then leave, okay? We're leaving. Surrender, receive, then leave. The alteration that you're working, the alteration you've been brewing, the alteration. What have you been going to the altar for? What do you need altered in your life? What have you been asking for? What have you been working for? Okay, the alteration has arrived. The alteration has arrived. As long as you have been willing to drive and go forward and brew in the previous year or two, anything that you've really been doing, okay, well, we're here now. We're arriving. In a matter of 4 days, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be so good. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. Next week, there's a lot of things that land. Next week, there's a lot of things we understand. Next week, there's a lot of things that are going to change. Next week is going to feel really, really strange. It's going to feel really, really strange. So this week, surrender, receive, then leave. This week is for preparation. Preparation, understanding, receiving, then leaving. Next week is going to feel very strange. We're going to have a very, very strange energy around us. It's going to be very strange. It's going to be a very, 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 very different feeling sort of week. It's going to be a very, very, very different moving, grooving. The elements are going to be different. Our feelings are going to be different. Our fears are going to be different. We're a different person internally. We're different. We're different as a person. The world is different. It's like reality. Reality starts to set in this week. And then when we're in our next week, during the eclipse, through the eclipse, before the eclipse, right after the eclipse, we're in a strange time. We're in a strange energy. We're in a different era. A whole era. An era is like 15, 20 years. A new era is going to feel very different. So, in your strangeness, let there be change. Let there be change, let there be change, let there be change. And we'll talk more about the strangeness and the very strange time that we're growing into in the coming episode. So, gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Keep up the brew that you do. Thanks for being you and for being true. That's also true, for sure. Everywhere we've been is about to be completed so we can move in to another place and a space and a time. So when we get there, I'll be here with more updates. Until then, enjoy your space and I'll talk to you soon. That's true.